Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs. We get your daily fix of Blue Blanc Rouge. It's the Wednesday night show. Paul Byron officially retired today, and we're going to talk about that. Kent Hughes and Marty St. Louis had a press conference. I was watching a little bit before I came on here. I had a lot of the quotes from it already and stuff, but I hadn't seen the Marty St. Louis stuff. So maybe we'll get into that. What else? We can talk about the Tanner Pearson coming to Montreal. Will he stay? Are they going to flip him? There's news on that. I've got the Mike Hoffman Rem Pitlick trade tree. So somebody put that up there on Twitter, because I won't call it the other name, and so I got that. We'll talk about the hockey pools, the Talking Habs hockey pools that nobody seems to be interested in joining. So I mean that's okay if nobody wants to. My glasses are dirty. Not too bad. So whatever, if you're here, not a lot of people here yet. Hopefully there'll be more. Say hi and we'll talk about stuff. Also, I will. We got a new podcast coming up, so I'm going to talk about that. And I may be convinced to tease you with the opening song, a teaser of it. We'll see. So let's use here. Guru, hey Guru. I'm doing good tonight. I had a busy day, but that's why this has started so late, because I didn't know what time I'd get home and everything, so I wanted to make sure it was all good. But it was a good day. Filibuster. Hey Guru, in particular, not me though. I mean, not the host of the show. Hey Eric, how's it going? Byron certainly a class act, says Eric. He certainly is. And I've got his I guess his letter. He wrote a letter to the fans and to everybody that's helped him along the way, to his family, all that stuff. I've got that. It's long, but I could read the pertinent stuff about, more about Montreal. Hey, Rena Gale. Is it Rena Gal? Okay, my glasses are dirty. From Rena and Corey. Hi, Corey. How's it going? All right, so we're going to talk about. I guess I can go over. I'll just show this stuff here. Hang on. I don't know. Give me a sec. So it's official. Paul Byron. I don't know if that's breaking news exactly, but Paul Byron has officially retired, and the source is Paul Byron. So that's definitely official. Came out today. I thought I had more on that, to be honest. I thought I had more on that. I'll show you. Let's go over his letter. So he wrote a letter that he put out on social media to thank everybody. Oh, that's a lot smaller than it was on full screen. Okay. Damn it. I don't know that I can read that from here. When I got it, it was on the full screen. Oh, here it just shows me a little tiny thing. I can't read that. I apologize. What could I do? I don't have a link to that. How can I get that to you guys? Well, I mean, if you just go on Twitter, if you do, or I imagine it's all over social media, just search for that. And it's really nice. It's not all about the Habs, obviously. And there's a lot about, to his family, to coaches and stuff along the way, to his kids, to, his parents, like really nice stuff, to his wife. It's really nice, but not all pertinent to Habs fans necessarily. But I cannot read that. So let's talk about Paul Byron for a little while. So what did you guys like? How do you feel about Paul Byron? There is this news. He is now officially a player development consultant, which I think is just a nice way of saying a player development coach, but it's a consultant now. So I don't know if that means that he's not working with the team like full time all through the season, or what that means exactly. Or as a consultant, he can work with the big club, the Rocket, with the ECHL club. That could be what that means. I don't know, but he's working for the Habs still. So, and which is really great. I'm glad that's happening. He seems like a really good guy. A genuinely good guy. And that's always good to have those kind of people hang around the young kids and mentoring them. So I'm really happy for that. So let's see what you guys said about that. And if you're here, say something, talk to me in the chat and ask me whatever questions you want. Byron's lawyers are excellent writers. Well, I don't know. Why would you say that? I didn't get that feeling. I didn't get that feeling at all. That was, I'm sure he wrote that. Turn down for what is Byron's theme song? If you don't know, now you know. What? I don't get you. Turn down for what is Byron's theme song? I don't get it. I don't get it, Phil. Sorry. Guru says, I like Paul Byron. He definitely tried when he was on the ice. Definitely the kind of guy, well, he had to, he made the most of what he had, as far as talent and all that. And yeah, well, he'll forever be remembered by Habs fans for that goal in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup, 2021 Stanley Cup playoffs against the Leafs, and that second effort that, and I want to say that was the overtime game-winning goal. So shorthanded too, I think, while he was on his knees after being kind of hauled down. He'll be remembered for that forever. Usually in my day, I find it hard to remember the years that the Habs even made it to the Cup final but didn't win. But it's not the same today, right? Because we don't get that very often. So that will be a memory. I can't forget that either. And that wouldn't be the way it would have been when I was young. We would have been, they didn't win last year. Yeah, who did they even play last year? We don't even remember. That kind of thing. Anyway, Phil says, hey, old man, that's me. He's definitely talking to me. What's the oldest item in your fridge? Don't fib now. No lollygagging. Couldn't tell you. There's a few old things in there, but I do go through it, from time to time and throw out the old stuff. But I can't tell you. I don't know. There's probably a competition for that right now. Look up Paul Byron's breakaway video, the one he got picked up for YouTube breakaway Byron. The one he got picked up for? I used that in a recent video, though. I did a video and I used that Paul Byron, the goal on the Leafs. Hey, Hako, been a while. Well, I appreciate that. It's basically the same. I mean, there's some changes, but I appreciate that. Thank you. I try. Listen, it's a new season, so I always try every season to do something different. And I wasn't as enthusiastic this season, so there's some changes. Nothing major though, and I'm not happy with it. I would like to do more, but I don't really have anything to really add there or to change it. I didn't know. Anyway, too busy these days. Hey, Joe, how's it going? Good morning. Good morning to Joe in Australia. Awesome. But it's not how early morning is it there? Because I can never get that. It's not super early morning, right? Because I'm 9 o'clock here. It's got to be getting into the morning now over there. What's the time difference? Is it 12 hours? I turned my desk around. No, I did not turn my desk around at all, actually. The desk has not changed. The looks changed because I changed up how my desk is, and I've got 2 monitors instead of a monitor and a TV, which was up. I don't have that anymore, so the camera's in a different spot. That's it though. But no, nothing's changed other than that, really. As far as where you're looking at. Byron is probably the greatest waiver pickup in Montreal history. Isn't that how Montreal acquired him from Calgary? It sure as hell is. Yeah, you might be right on that. Definitely, I think you might be right. I can't think of another one that would have been, 8 years here and played, the way he did. So, yeah. So it's actually, what is it here? So it's actually 14 hours ahead where you are. Yeah. 14 hours ahead, yeah. Okay, I always thought it was 12, but I wasn't sure. And I can never pin it down when you tell me what time. I can never pin it down with you. I remember with Sufka, I think last season, I knew what time it was over there. And he's in Slovakia, I believe. Byron was drafted by Buffalo, and this is something, honestly, I don't think I knew until when. I'm not sure. I think when he retired, just recently, I did a video on him. I think that's when I found that out. But he played one game, I think, for Buffalo, right? One game, and then he was shipped off to Calgary. And then Calgary even didn't give him a big chance, and they waived him. And that's when his life changed. And he became a Hab for life. Because that's what often happens. Look, even not Ty Domi, even Max Domi, he got asked the big question over there in Toronto about, what, like, the way he talked about Toronto and how he loved Montreal. Has that changed now that he's a Maple Leaf? And he wouldn't put us down at all. He was a stand-up guy and said he still loves Montreal and it was a great experience and he misses it and all that kind of stuff. Got to give him. He's got the balls to do that. He did not kowtow to them. And he says he'll, now he's in Toronto and that's it's a new page and he's blah, 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 but he did not put us down. Hey, BL. I remember Byron and his centerman coming into Cape Breton and beating up on the Eagles. His center's name was Claude Giroux. Oh, he played. And both of them coming from Ottawa, too. Yeah, listen, I remember Claude Giroux. I just don't remember Byron until he got, I never heard of him until he got here, to be honest. But, it's different now. I wasn't following the game the way I am now, that's for sure. So, yeah. Look up Breakaway Byron. Is that how it is on YouTube? It's just Breakaway Byron and you get that? Okay, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what you wrote there. Sorry. But that's it. If you want to see, I'm sure, I think a lot of us could still, you just say it and you're, in your mind, you can see the play happening. So, yeah. I'm not looking it up now. I'm not like a 30 or 20 or 30 or 40-year-old that's really quick on the computer. That's not me. So, can't do that. And Matt's not here, but he wasn't supposed to be. They were a wicked 1-2 punch for Gatineau in the queue. Awesome. Yeah, I know they both played for Gatineau. Like I said, I knew when Claude Giroux came up, because I didn't know anything about Byron at that time, I don't equate it together. Oh, I see. You're talking about a different video, Phil. I get you. I would have to look that up, but I can't do it right now. But I will look. I thought you were talking about the one I was talking about. Not the same thing. All right. Kent Hughes had a press conference today, so let's announce a couple of the things from that. First off, I think maybe one of the biggest things is that Christian Dvorak, who was expected to be ready not too long after the season started, he won't be. He'll be out till November. Which I wrote here. Well, I'll better read it. I wrote here, opening a spot on the roster till then. And Devo can go on LTIR, short period for now, which would ease the cap issues a bit. So, and I also wrote, is that spot going to be taken by Pearson or a young player, like Owen Beck? That hasn't exactly been answered, but some of that's been answered. First, on that, or on Kent Hughes' thing, he says the Habs will compete for a playoff spot, and that they will not roll over. And I got more on that here. I wrote that, and I had to go out and I found this stuff. But then, since I found the better quote, and that is right here. I'm sure everybody starts the season expecting that they're going to compete for a playoff spot. And I expect them to do that. I don't expect them to roll over and think the season is done. Every single season, there's a team that makes the playoffs and doesn't make the playoffs. That is a surprise to everybody. He said, I don't know if it was Pittsburgh or whoever it was that was a surprise not to have made it, or Seattle to have done what they did. That's why we play the games. So that's what he's saying, that It's not like last year where they're playing to develop players, and it's not about the record, and it's not about winning games. It does not mean the rebuild is over. It doesn't. I think it just means that they feel it's time um, to start trying to get into meaningful games now and give these guys that kind of an experience and just progress them, through, the growing pains of being young in the NHL. So there's that. Now on the Dvorak, because I'm all over the board here because it is written all over the board. The reason that he's out till November is not because he has re-hurt himself in his rehabbing. It is because of last season and the way they rushed guys back and they didn't take the time. They're not doing that anymore. They're going to make sure that he is 100% ready, and that is at the request of his surgeon, who wants a little bit more time to make 100% sure that when he comes back, he's not going to get hurt again in a week. He'll be back and be able to stay. And that doesn't mean he'll stay. They might be able to trade him then. They might trade him. He might stay. I don't know. All right, so that's that. On Tanner Pearson, Pearson's injured. I'm going to do a bunch of the stuff we have here, and then we'll talk about all this stuff. So hopefully you guys will, stick around for that. Pearson's injured hand, and that's why he missed a lot of games last year, because he had a injured hand, played only 14 games. It's not 100%, but it's 80% recovered. He's gotten the green light to join the training camp, and Hughes says they expect him to take part in camp and be on the ice tomorrow. He came to Montreal today. From what Hughes is saying, Tanner Pearson is staying with Montreal this season. And he says he's got a lot of experience and he's got a lot of good stuff that he can pass on to this young group that are here. He's staying this season. Imagine till the trade deadline, because he's only got he's on his last year of a contract. I doubt they're not going to re-sign him. So he's here for like 60 games. So that's interesting because of the cap issues and everything. Maybe he's got somebody to take Armia. That's the only thing I can think of. I guess they're going to be okay because of Dvorak being out for the first month. But if somebody's coming back, and then somebody's got to move. Armia. I don't pray to, but it's a general thing. Don't think I was doing that, because I was not. What else did I write here? I didn't write anything else, and I was trying to go through everything, and I couldn't get it in time. So he also says about Carey Price situation. Even though right now they're sitting at a little over $6 million in over the cap, he's still confident Price will be placed on in-season LTIR. And I assume he also means Dvorak, because it wouldn't make sense to place Dvorak on off-season and Price it wouldn't make sense, because it would be ruined anyway by Dvorak. But it depends actually how they do it. I'm not sure how that works out actually. I say that, but it's a confusing thing, right? That's very confusing, and I might be saying it wrong because I could be an idiot sometimes. All right, let's look at the Hoffman Pitlick trade treat before we get to you guys. So, Rem Pitlick, Mike Hoffman traded to Pittsburgh. In return, Montreal got Nathan Legary, who's, he's a minor leaguer. A second-round pick, 2025. They got Casey DeSmith, and they got Jeff Petrie. They traded Jeff Petrie again, got Gustav Lindstrom, and a 2025 conditional round 4 pick from Detroit. They got, for Casey DeSmith, a third-rounder in 2025, which is Vancouver's own, and Tanner Pearson. Now, they trade Lindstrom, they get something for him. Pearson, they're going to move. They're going to get something for him. Then the guys that they get in these picks are going to be something. This is what a hell of a treat for Mike Hoffman, who there was no interest in, and Rem Pitlick, who, he's an NHLer, but he's not this is not a star. And look at this. This is insane. And if you wonder, is GM Hughes a good GM? I'd say so. Right? Just on that. So kind of crazy. Yeah, that's everything I got, except for to remind everybody that we got 17 people here now. If you'd like to be in the Talking Habs fantasy pool, we're doing 2 of them. Gonna need to know pretty much in the next week or so. How do you do that? There's my email address is in the description. It's talkinghabs@gmx.com. Talkinghabs@gmx.com. Send an email there saying, yeah, I'd love to be in there. Blah, blah, blah. This is my name. Please give me your name so I know who you are. And I'll get your email address to send it back to you, and I'll send you back a link when everything's set up. So if anybody's interested, be a good time to do that. I'd appreciate that. Or, I'd like to know how many people are interested so I don't set up more tools than I need to set up. They're easy to cancel, but why do the work to set them up if there's no interest? And I think that is all I got. The only thing else I got is I can give you that teaser, but I will do that soon. Let's see what you guys are saying since I've been ignoring the chat. That came out bad. Okay, wait a second. Just look it up there. Okay, I was there. BL, but Matt didn't tell me he was going to be here, so I asked him last night. He said he's not being here, so it's not it doesn't qualify in that. When that what qualifies is when he tells me, yeah, I'm going to be there, and then doesn't show up, which happens often enough, but this is not one of those times. I can look it up too. I just can't do it right now, Phil. I'm doing something. I don't know. You might not notice. I'm doing a live stream right at the moment. Maybe you didn't notice. I don't know. Guru, Herb Pearson had a bunch of surgeries on his hand last year. Yeah. Sounds like a Monahan situation. Seeing if an acquired player still has it to play in the NHL. I think he still has it to play in the NHL. And, they cleared him to play. They cleared him. Imagine that 20% that he needs to get back. Maybe he actually needs to be using the hand and doing that to get, a little strength back in it, but that's it. So I would imagine by, start of the season, kid should be ready. He's only 30, I think. So it's not like he's over the hill. He's got a lot of experience, won a Stanley Cup in LA. I think he could be, if you're looking for an experienced veteran NHLer to help with the young kids that are expected to be here, I mean, he fits the bill. A lot better than a Yoel Armia, So, but the thing with Armia now, I don't know that do they have the cap to be able to just waive them and send them down, because that only relieves $1 million. And you still got to cover the other 2.4. So I don't know what's going to happen. I hope they find a way to trade him. If anybody can, it's RGM. Gotta be. Joe says, it seems to me that the rebuild is around continuing via picking up more draft picks through deals. Listen, the rebuild's not over. They're still looking for that, offensive help. And why, you can say, well, why didn't they get something instead of Reinbacher that way, right? Next draft is supposed to be pretty big on defense, but there's some really good offensive players there. Montreal right now in the next, I think it's in the next 2 drafts. No, it's got to be this next draft. I think we have 2 firsts and 2 seconds, 4 picks in the top 2 rounds. That sounds like, we're going to get, farther along in that. And maybe they'll come up with that elite guy. Maybe we can win a draft lottery, if we're down, like if we're at where I think they are going to be 12 from the bottom, can't get number 1 with that. So they got to be a little lower than that. But, and maybe I'm wrong that 12 can. I don't think 12 can. 11th can. So we'll see what happens with that, right? But they've got a lot of picks. He keeps adding more. There's going to be more coming in. Some will get moved, but there's always going to be a good influx of draft picks to keep this. It won't be a rebuild at that point, but to keep the ship afloat. Anyway, I'm very confident. I'm very confident in this management group that's here right now, and they're probably going to have a nice long run. And then one day they won't be as good. But I mean, they look like the kind, like the decisions they're making and the way they think they're doing things. This is going to last for a while once they get to the promised land and they're contenders again. Well, JFed, I don't know. From what I'm reading, I think he's going to be fine. From what I'm reading. Let me put it this way: the surgeons, or if it's one, cleared him to play. The surgeon says, "You go out there, you can play again." Isn't that what that means, though? So it's just a matter: will his hand get back to 100%? That I don't know. Seems to me they're confident that it will. So he's going to stay here. And even if it doesn't work out and he retires or whatever happens, right? Considering everything, we still got a 3rd round pick for that deal for DeSmith, and so many other. Like, it won't matter, That's how I look at it. I don't think it's like it's a win-win situation either way, I think. Did you watch Martin Biron's rating of the 7 Canadian NHL teams goalies? He had Monty at 7, Korpisalo at 6, Markstrom at 5, Skinner at 4, Demko at 3, Samsonov at 2, and no surprise, Hellebuck at 1. I did not see that. I didn't watch the video. I saw like someone put up a list on Twitter for that. I did see that. I saw Monty at 7, didn't really pay attention much more than that because, quite frankly, going into the season, Monty's at 7. And if you think I was going to say something different, no, because I'm not an idiot. I mean, listen, there's a good chance, though, Monty moves up somewhat, maybe a spot, by the end of the season. It starts to move up that list. But going into this season, Monty's at 7. Look at the numbers. I mean, just look at his numbers. They're not nice to look at, right? So, I get where people are like, Monty's shit. I get it. Just, if you're just looking at numbers and stuff, you didn't look at the eye test. I think there's more to that kid, and he's going to prove it this year. That's what I think. I did something to my arm today. I'm just reaching like that. So it hurts me right in here. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what I did. What did I do today? I didn't lift anything. I don't think I lifted anything extra heavy. That's what it's like to be old. I'm not that old, though. I get that. I'm only 60, but I'm on my way. I'm at least old adjacent. At least. BL, I know you're not getting a car, but you are getting a prize, and have said my apologies. You might not have seen them. I'm going to get that done early on in the start of the season. It just costs money to do that, and money has not been coming in from this channel. And in order for me to do that, the channel has to pay for that. Right now, it's almost impossible. But the new season's coming. Games are coming. Like, things are going to start happening better. But I'm not like forgetting about that. As a matter of fact, I think about that often and how bad that looks for me, and I get it, but there's nothing I can do about it right now. But the prizes and that stuff, it's all there. It's still on the shelves. It hasn't moved. I owe Luca one as well, and we have a draw to do for that mug. So that's all coming up soon. And did I make this announcement? I'll do it again, by the way, just because we got some people here. Games are coming up for the preseason games, which start on Monday. I'm not doing a pregame show for that. I wouldn't normally do that. But the pregame show is not completely going to be gone because there are late games. And when the late games happen, I'm going to do a pregame show. But for the bulk of the games, I'm not doing a pregame show anymore. I'm going to be doing a postgame show instead. So that's a change that's coming here. I just feel that with the postgame show, there's more to talk about. Game just happened. We got a lot to talk about. With the pregame show, it's not as much that we're talking about the game that's coming up. So I'll do that. Now I'm going to find a way to still keep the guess the score contest. We're just going to have to do it a little different way for you to enter. So probably through email. I don't know how else to do it otherwise, and I'd like to keep it going, but it's not the reason I'm changing to post game has nothing to do with what I just said before, and why I want to eliminate the guess the score, because that has never produced a ton of winners anyway every year. So, but I do want to go to a post game show. The reason for that is I don't have to start as early in the day to be on air, and the extra hour that I would get, that it's kind of beneficial. So during the season, what I'll do is instead of the pregame, I'm going to do a 15-minute start earlier than the game. So it starts at 7. I'll be on at 6:45, and I'll give the pregame stuff that I always did there. Maybe that's where we'll do the guess the score contest. Maybe that's it. So we'll see what happens, though. Anyways, that's an announcement. So I think I just scared away a whole bunch of people just talking about that. But let's see what you guys got to say now. I don't know where I was. Oh, there I was. The BL also went on to say, Rem Pidlick, he calls him Shem Pickle, always gave 100%. Yeah, but he's not a star player, right? I mean, he wasn't a star player. So I didn't say anything about his effort or anything like that. I didn't say that. Hey, babe, bye. So glad to see Byron retiring and going into development, as this was a great move by the Habs, as he will help the young players. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's no breaking news because they pretty much announced it before, but at least it's official. And I think it's a good news. I think it's a good idea to have him do that. And we saw him working with players already. And there's players, even though camp opens tomorrow, but there's been players here for a couple of weeks working out. As a matter of fact, I think 45 players have been in Montreal working out at the Brossard workout. What do you call that? Whenever they practice, the practice arena, which is crazy to think about because that doesn't usually happen, not 2 weeks before. So that shows a sign of camaraderie and bonding. And Marty St. Louis was asked this in his press conference today about not about the 45 players. They didn't mention that, but about how close this team seems to be or whatever. How important is that to them, winning on the ice? And he basically said winning starts well before you get to the ice. And he says it starts in the locker room. In other words, saying that this could be really a big part of if Montreal has a good season this year where they make a run at the playoffs. I don't think they will make the playoffs, but they get farther than we thought. A lot of it is going to be the fact that these guys all like each other and care about each other and work harder on the ice because of that. And that is a fact in sport. So, on that aspect, this team is right where it needs to be. And this is encouraged. I think it's Ken Hughes and Jeff Gordon that have made, have encouraged that. And obviously Marty as well. And these players to be like that. So there's something building here. There's no doubt about it. There's something building here. I know I'm really falling behind in these in the comments. Some people think Lindstrom will be on the Habs starting lineup. I'm one of those. Well, because what are they going to do with him? If they waive him to send him to Laval, they're going to lose him for nothing. You don't lose an asset like Lindstrom for nothing. You don't do that. That's a real no-no, and there's nothing about this management group that says that they're going to do that. So what do you do with him? Either they trade him, and that could be they might move him. But if you're looking to relieve some of the cap pressure, he only makes like $950,000, so you're not relieving a lot of cap space there. So I think he's starting in the starting lineup or the seventh defenseman anyway. You know, I'm doing a video. I know I keep saying that, but I was out today, so I couldn't do it. But yesterday, I would have probably had this video done, but that trade happened, and then we had to do the live stream, and I had to not be editing. And then I was thinking this morning, geez, I got to think first, how does that trade and Pearson staying, like if it affects my video at all? I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it does, but anyway, so this video's coming out. Tomorrow I'm gone all day again, so I don't know. You know, anyways, my life is very busy these days. Not all about the channel. It's just busy all around. Guru is saying, you don't think Galley could be traded out of nowhere like Hoffman? Perfect LTIR situation. But he's not LTIR situation. Oh, well, in a season or two. Okay. Something was covering that up. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, first of all, Galley looks like he's ready. You know, he's ready to go. He's ready to go. Could be an 82 game season. Doubt that it would be. But so he's not really tradable with that contract because teams don't have money. I mean, if you look at the team's cap, like through the league, there's not a lot of teams that could do that. Basically, I think maybe two teams that could actually take on that contract straight up anyway, right? And why would they? There's 4 years left on it. I don't think, yeah. I mean, revisit it in 2 years, 2 years left. He's probably on the LTIR. Now you could probably move that, for teams that, want to get the benefit of the LTIR. But while he's healthy still enough to play, I don't see. Now, if any GM could do it, I'm not going to say I'm not going to say I'm not. I don't even know if I would not be shocked. But, like he could probably do it, Hughes. I'd still be shocked, though. I really would be. Oh, Joe, yeah. I mean, we're saying the same thing then. Yeah. That's it. It's a different, as these guys, they're here, right? So second or third year, you want them to start playing meaningful games, getting into that headspace of competition and not being satisfied with just trying to win, but actually playing in meaningful games that, I should say that different, not just trying to win just games that don't mean anything, but meaningful games. There's a big difference. And I think that's what they're trying to do. I don't know that they think that they're going to make the playoffs, and I don't think that they do. But I think they're smart enough to know that if things really go right for them and for two or three other teams ahead of them, which is possible with injuries, that they have a chance, right? So that means they have a chance. And they want that attitude always. Players coming in thinking, yes, we can make it. Because you don't want them not thinking that. So yeah, it's just smart. It's smart tactics on their part, I think. Baby says, I'm not sure. I think you might have not did this right. Only Byron's opinion. Oh, maybe it's me that didn't read right. It's only Byron's opinion, but never liked him on TV. I'm not the biggest Byron fan. Isn't he on the Sick podcast with Tony Marinaro sometimes? I don't always agree with that guy. I'm not sure if it's Byron or not, but I think it might be. And then he was on some Hockey Night in Canada stuff, and I didn't always agree with him. So, but you know what? It's his opinion. I'm sure a lot of people don't agree with my opinions, even though they're always right. But I mean, people don't always agree. No, they're not always right. But Opinions are like assholes. You know what they say. We've all got them. Kent said he was at 80%, but still will be at camp. Yes, because he's cleared by the doctor. The doctor cleared him at 80% to take part in camp and to play, I believe, to play in the preseason. So, so he's going to be on the ice tomorrow. I don't know. It opens tomorrow, no? So isn't that all weight, like taking their weight and height and all that kind of stuff, and not on ice stuff? I thought they don't go onto the ice until, the day after the day after it starts. Oh, well, BL, I do remember you telling me that. I do remember. And that's fine. I appreciate that. It makes it a little easier. But listen, do you want back, like you won? I probably didn't send you. Did I send you an invitation yet? If not, I should be sending you an invitation. But if you don't want to be in, you don't have to. But you should be in because you won. So I apologize. I didn't automatically send you one, but I should have. No, Brad, sorry. I was out all day. Did not have time. The hockey card game. The hockey card game, I don't know how often I'm going to do it because I'm actually thinking, and I'm probably based on your recommendation, Brad, to maybe doing that once a week, like as its own show. So, yeah. So, like that. Yeah, I don't want to use up all the cards if I'm going to do that. So I got to decide on that. But I mean, it was your suggestion, which I really liked. And yeah, I think I want to do that. So have a little patience and we'll get to it again. All right. So listen, I know there's not a lot of people here in the chance that I may chase some more away. I'm going to tease you with my first ever rap song. I know I played one which was really bad, but I shouldn't have made that. That wasn't the first one though. I'd done this already. So yeah, I'm just teasing it though. I'm not playing the whole thing. There's a little bit of it. All right. And this is for the podcast, which is going to be starting October 9th, which is a Monday night, 2 nights before the first game between the Leafs and the Habs. We're doing a live podcast. We won't always be doing this live, but we're going to start it. The first one is going to be live. Here's the intro, and then I'm going to put the rap song on. Just a tease, though. Time for the Pucking Around podcast. Puck around and find out.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey, everybody, come in and sit down for our new podcast, Pucking Around. We're talking hockey, Habs, Bruins, and Flyers. Give us a listen and see what transpires. We're all a little nervous. This is our first show. Sit back and relax. Here's what you need to know. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Rick. This is my YouTube channel. I do all kinds of shit. That's it. Can't play it all. So that is, you know what I just realized listening to that? I recut it from, like I've done a couple of cuts. I forgot to lower the music. I think I'm going to just have to go in there and lower the music on it. I forgot about that. But besides that, what do you guys think of that? And hopefully you guys will join us and watch that. Again, it's on October 9th. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be 7 o'clock, October 9th. That I don't think we decided on. So, yeah. So now it is a podcast of 3 teams because I'm going to be doing this with Matt, with his 2 buddies, Alex and Cam, who you've seen here on the channel. And Alex is a Flyers fan. Cam is a Bruins fan. So we're going to talk a little bit about each team. There's 2 Habs fans. Habs will get a little bit more coverage than the other 2 teams. And we also have Pete. He'll have his own segment called Habs Jabs with Pete the Fist. So, yeah, it should be a lot of fun. We're going to do different things. We're going to cover different aspects of, we're going to take a look. We're going to preview or review the last next 2 weeks, and in this case, the off season because the first one, and then take a look ahead at the next 2 weeks at the end of the show for each team and stuff like that. We're gonna have a lot, hopefully, very entertaining things. I hope, but yeah. So we've done some hard work on it, and there's still some hard work to do left on it, but we should be ready to go on October 9th. So hopefully you guys will check that out. And maybe not, because like 7 people left when I started talking about it. So I guess they weren't interested. Listen, you can't please everybody all the time. That's how it goes. All right. Joe says not bad, but I don't know what's not bad. I guess that's the song not bad. It's, not bad. I'll take not bad. Yes, Bruins and Flyers. I just explained it. It is not just a Habs podcast. It is going to be a Habs and other two, and we're going to talk about the NHL as well. It's gonna. I hope it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're gonna, entertain you guys. Was that Rick or M&M's? What's that? What are you talking about? No, the music. No, interesting. I got the music. If you're a creator on YouTube, they have a music copyright-free selection of music. So I looked through the rap stuff and I listened, and I tried to find something that would match up to my lyrics, and I did. I found this piece, and it really matches up well. And so yeah, I got to lower the. I realized I got to lower the sound on that. So. Now, remember, it's rap music, so a lot of rap music kind of sounds alike. One thing that doesn't sound alike, though, there's nobody that does rap music that has my horrible, horrible voice. So, but the rap music, it kind of covers up my bad voice somewhat. So I'm not as bad at rap as I was, although you didn't hear all of it. Yeah. I had to fix up some lyrics, and I got it. It's okay, but my mouth still stumbles over it. All right, Pete the Fist. Well, at least there will be some Canadian content. There's good. Well, what do you mean? I'm not Canadian. I'm sorry. I'm the only Canadian. Me and Pete are the only 2 Canadians on this podcast. That's right. It's Canadian against the Americans, man. Although I'm both, so I was born there, but. To Canadian parents. So I'm still Canadian fully. I was just happened to be born there. But it gave me a citizenship, which I'm never going to use again, ever. Nope. Never will you find me setting foot on American soil. Joe says she might have a short video about the Melbourne preseason game on my channel this weekend. Awesome, Joe. Do I have that channel? Have I been there and subscribed? Because if I haven't, I want to. I like to do that for, listen, I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I'm being very honest with you. I don't. But, I like to support that way as well. And something like that, though, I would be very interested to see. So if you can... send me the link, or tell me what it is. I'll write it down and I'll go look. Still, I'd like to know what your channel is. If you want, email it to me. If you don't want everybody, I don't know, maybe you don't want everybody over there, but email it to me. I'd really appreciate that. I'd like to check it out. I would, Joe, if you would have said to me, I think at any point in my life, and probably even right up until the time that I wrote that piece, the lyrics, that I would have done a rap song or hip hop. I don't know what that's considered. I would have laughed in your face. But I wrote the lyrics without thinking of it being anything other than a poem. Right? I wrote it and I finished it. And I read it back to myself a few times, and I read it back and I'm going that's a rap song. That's rap. I just wrote a rap song. So I said, found music, and then I did it. And I was yeah, I wrote a rap song. Would never have thought that. But like you said, doing rap for my voice kind of works better. And I'm not saying everything I'll do from now on like that would be rap, but it works better for me because the voice I have it's a non-singing voice. So rap is as close as you can get to that. Anyways, it was fun to do, I have to say. It was fun to do. Did I get respect for rap? I wouldn't say I have full respect, but I had to say I gained a little respect for rap music because of what I just did. Like I can understand it a little bit better. Gotta say. So you know what it means? You can teach old dogs new tricks. Why all the American co-hosts? Well, I'll tell you what happened. So we were going to do this podcast was going to be me, Matt, and Pete. And Pete wasn't able to his job, like he changed jobs. A great opportunity happened to him that he wasn't going to be able to commit to the time needed for the podcast. So, you know, and I'm not going to blame the guy and say, no, you can't take a good job or you get a pension and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do that. So it was like, okay, so we got to do something different. And then I was just thinking, because, Matt, Alex, and Cam had just been on the show, I believe, for something. We had them on. And I was thinking, it's not a bad idea. They know how to talk hockey. They know their hockey. They're knowledgeable for that, And, it's not a bad, I don't know if demographic, that's not the right word, but the old guy, Canadian, 3 young American kids. Because to me, they're young kids. I like that. It brings in the Flyers fan, Bruins. It brings in more eyes to the channel. The kids will attract a different demographic than I would normally. I just thought it was really good. And we get along really well. And we've had meetings and stuff to set this up. This is not just me doing the work. They're contributing 100%. We're meeting and we're doing the stuff all together. And I think this is actually going to work. It'll work. How successful it'll be, I don't know. But it'll work, I think. And it's because they're contributing as much as I am. I'm not, like, I'm producing it and I'm kind of the boss. But they're contributing their share of the work, which really make me happy because, everything I've done up until now has pretty much been all me. And it gets tiring after a while. I don't think I could do this podcast if I have to do everything. It's not going to work. So I'm really happy on that. And we get along. And I think it'll show. And we're going to have a lot of fun. And that's why. It just turns out that they're American. I'm cool with that. It doesn't bother me. I hope it doesn't bother anybody. I'm Canadian. I'm here. That's the reason for the flag being the way it is now. Is basically because of this podcast. I want to really push that I'm Canadian so that people understand that this is, Anyways, that's why. I hope it'll be fun. We put a lot into it. I don't know that anybody's going to watch it because us talking about it and people just leave. I don't know if I should be insulted or not. I'm not insulted by that shit anymore. Should have got Cheech and Chong and the Newfie guy. Who's the Newfie guy? Who's the Newfie guy? And you don't mean literally Cheech and Chong then. Who do you mean? You mean JD, the Newfie guy? JD was in Newfoundland. But I mean JD and I've fixed up our little. I hope, anyways. I hope he's got an open invitation to come onto the show. I like JD a lot, actually. So I just, his schedule isn't perfect for this, and he's an hour and a half ahead, which doesn't always work. But no, I like JD. If that's who you're talking about, that's I would love to have him on the show more often. I don't know who Cheech and Chong are. I mean, Cheech and Chong, I know, but I don't know if that's who you're talking about. Do I think the Habs will be over or under 500 after first 10 games? That's a really good question. I would want to look at the schedule, and I can do that if you'll give me a minute. Well, it might not take a full minute. I'm almost there already. All right, let's take a look. Okay, October there's 9 games, so that's the first there. Oof. Wow. I'm going to say either they're going to be at 500 or they're going to be under. But they've got some games they can win there. I mean, the 10th game is Arizona, so that's a game they could win. They play Vegas before Arizona. They play the Jets. The Jets, I mean, they could win. The Jackets, they could win. The Devils, I wouldn't look at it and say that's a win. The Sabres, I would probably do the same. The Capitals, they could be the Caps. Minnesota, probably not. Chicago, probably. And you know what? It's maybe over because the first game against Toronto, yeah, I'm going for Montreal there. Oh, BL, you meant Habs and Dabs. You know, I haven't spoken to them in a little while. We sort of interact a little on Twitter, but I don't know what's up. I was supposed to be on their show again, but I haven't really spoken to them. But no, I mean, I'm not doing a podcast with them. Oh, well, BL, the two guys you're talking about, Alex and Cam, they've done their share of work on it. They have. Cam has a really heavy schedule, but Alex, is made up for anything that Cam hasn't been able to do. And Matt's Matt. He's done what he's supposed to do so far and promised more. Well, we're gonna see. But the other two guys, I mean, until they don't do, I'm not gonna not believe them. And like I said, go like the work so far to plan everything, they've done their share, which I was thinking about today. Like it's the first time in a while, like I'm working with people that are going to really actively take part in it, and I don't have to do everything because I don't think I can. So yeah, and that's why I think it'll work. Anyways, this time we started planning a while ago. Like I usually just go in like, oh yeah, let's do a podcast. 3 days later, it's all set up. It's not good. This time it should be good. And this is going to be live sometimes, but mostly pre-taped. And there's going to be the video version, and I'm going to have an audio version also. So if you just want to listen to it, you'll be able to do that as well. So, yes, hopefully I've learned from my past experiences, and, I do a better job here of planning it out and putting it together. Yeah, I'm not drinking energy drink tonight, so I need my water. That's why my lips are dry. Oh, yeah, I needed that. When Cheech and Chong was mentioned, I had visualized a pair of guys doing a podcast from a green van. No, but it's a guy from Montreal area. I'm not exactly sure what part of town he's from. And then there's Brian out in BC, in the Osoyos Valley. So they make a good pair, and they just swear a lot, which is, it's not great on here. And I'm sure, like, if they came on here, they would tone it down a little bit. But no, I haven't spoken to them in a little bit. Thoughts on the DeSmith trade? Do you think the Habs should have given him a chance? No, I mean, it was clear they weren't going to. Do I think they should have? I'm not going to say should have. Do I think they could have? Yeah, if they were willing to trade Jake Allen. They're not. You know what, though? If they're looking to, in my opinion, Allen is the better goaltender overall, even though he's a little older. That's my opinion. It might not play out that way in the end. I don't know. But they promised Allen that he was going to stay. So, I mean, they didn't get DeSmith to stay here. I don't think they got him and went, well, maybe we'll keep him. You never know. I think they got him and said, yeah, we'll find a trading partner for him. Like from right off the bat. So, should they have given him a chance? No, they should not. That they should have, but they could have. But I mean, what are they going to do? Carry 3 goaltenders? They're not. Spots on the roster are hard enough to come by. You can't carry an extra goalie like that. And if you waive DeSmith to send him to Laval, you're going to lose him, for nothing. So they had to trade him. I mean, they got enough stuff back in those deals that, they gave away Smith for nothing. It's not going to kill them, but that's not what you do, and that's bad asset management, and that's a losing way to be. So they weren't going to do that. I just thought, a way to save on cap would be to move Allen to Smith, making $2 million less. So, but that's not what they did. And you know what? In a way, it goes with that team bonding thing, right? They don't want the players to see that and go, wow, they just moved Jake Allen after they told him he's going to stay. That's not good for team morale. So, and really the difference between Allen and DeSmith isn't going to be that great. They got Pearson, yep. And he's staying, apparently. I expect them to move him at the trade deadline as long as he's not injured at the time. I do expect that. He won't be here beyond this season because he's only got the 1 season left on his contract. But they're looking for his experience and his, just his veteran leadership and experience. He's won a Stanley Cup, a World Junior Championship. He's great for the bottom 6 guys. The knowledge and all that kind of stuff he's going to pass on. That's basically what I think it's exactly what Hughes said. And he's going to be staying. So as long as he's healthy, he'll play. Well, Eric, I think that's what you're going to see is that Allen at the very best will be 1B. And at least to start the season, and Monty's going to be 1A or the starter and getting the bulk of the starts. But Allen is better. I mean, to say will be better. It's known that Allen is not a starter. Like if he plays too many games, he breaks down a little bit, right? Which we've seen here a bit. So it's well known. So I mean, he's not planned to be the starter. It's just that year when Carey couldn't play and there was no plan for that. He had to play that many games, but it didn't do him well. So as the backup, and I'm sure that's how they think too, probably, right? If Monty plays the bulk of the games as the starter of the 1A, Allen will be fine with the amount of games he plays and actually be at his best, probably. Is Primo waiver exempt? He is not. He is not, and they could lose Primo. Having to waive him to put him back in with the Rocket after camp. So but you know what? If you look at Primo's numbers, though, I don't see a team picking him up off waivers. Primo's numbers are abysmal, really. NHL numbers abysmal. You're not picking. Well, who's picking them up? So they're probably safe enough, but they could lose them that way. Hey, Joe, no worries, and enjoy your flight and enjoy those games. Are you getting both, or you're just watching one? But enjoy it, man. You're gonna love it. NHL hockey, there's still nothing like it, So yeah. So thanks for being here, and have a great little mini vacation, I guess. And we'll see you for the preseason games. I'm doing, I guess, one more Saturday hockey talk at night. I might start doing them during the day. I haven't 100% decided on that. But then the games start, and we're going to have most Saturdays are going to be a game. So, So, yeah, the season's, it's about to start. I don't even know where to go with that. But yeah, there's only one more regular Saturday hockey talk until the off season. when if I think I'm going to be doing it from 12 to 1 on Saturdays. I hope I'm able to do that. And I only mean by, it takes a lot of energy and stuff, and I just hope I have the drive to do that all year. So, yeah, I don't even know what my point was, but there's only one more left before the season starts, and then we'll be mostly doing games. But on Wednesday nights and Saturday nights when there aren't games, Saturday Hockey Talk will be back at night, and Wednesday night show will be on. But there's some Wednesday games, but most of the season Wednesday night show should still be on. I intend to try to work a little more. Like I usually didn't do Wednesday show during the season, but that's just being lazy, which I can be sometimes. You're going to see both games and the practice tomorrow. Awesome. It's going to be an experience you're going to remember. You're going to see. I envy you in a way because, right, that's the first time you're going to see NHL hockey live, right? So, like, I really envy you that experience of seeing that for the first time. Like, I wish I would have been old enough to really enjoy it 100%, but I wasn't when I first saw it for the first time. Season is upon us, baby. Monday the preseason games start, right? They go till October 7. There's only 6. They said, and this is the reason why there's not 8 instead of, there's 6 instead of 8. They thought it better to have the 2 less games. It gives them more practice time and more time for the players to bond and get to know each other. And you know what? That's the way to go. It really is, because they don't need 8 preseason games. They really don't. And I think the bonding and that camaraderie is going to pay dividends with this team this season. Like, people that think Montreal is going to be horrible, they could be. They could finish really low. But I think there's certain things that lead me to believe that this team is going to be a little bit better than that and probably finish outside the bottom 10. And one of those things is that the team bonding, and the sign that 45 players were in Montreal over the last 2-3 weeks practicing and getting ready for the preseason stuff. Like, that's unheard of. That many players being here already and that far ahead, that tells a lot. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what this team looks like for that. On that note, yeah, I'm taking off because we're over an hour and I started really late. Yeah, Renegade Man, I'm expecting Byron to start Laval again, yeah. Unless they decide, they could decide they're going to carry 8 defensemen. If they do, Byron will stay. If not, I believe Byron will be the one to go. But if not Byron, it'll be one of them, one of the waiver exempt guys. And I don't think it'll be Gooley, and I don't think it'll be Jack-Eye. So it only really leaves 2 guys. So all right. So listen, I had a lot of fun, as always, doing this. So thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And I'm going to try to get this video that I've got ready to try to edit out in the next couple of days. And then we've got a few days after that, preseason games start, and hopefully you guys will join for that. So that's it. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Till next time, stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all, and I'll see you soon. Ciao, everybody. Where's the cursor? There it is.